from Diamond Shine Soap. We are here to do yet another video, guys. Oh my God, who is that pretty person in the back? Oh my God, look at her. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you can see more of this girl in the back. I'm telling you, she is just off the chain. She has been doing some fabulous things on this YouTube channel, guys. Listen, all of this is new to me. I have a desire to help people build their businesses from nothing. That is my wonderful desire that I have on the inside of me. So I'm sharing all this free information. I'm teaching you how to wick your candles. I'm teaching you how to make dessert candles. Guys, I know you see all these little mini pies in front of me and you are like, oh my God, Diamond, what are we doing today up in here? Before we do anything, let me tell you something. I want you to get up, stand up on your feet. I want you to just get loose, okay? Get loose, get loose, get loose. Woo! Yes! Move them arms around and get loose. It is just such a wonderful day here. It was just so nice outside today. Today I said I wanted to do something a little bit different. We have done a number of container candles on this channel, and you know, we could keep doing container candles all day long, but I wanted to do some key lime pies. Woo! Yes, I'm going to be doing some key lime pies on this channel today because I have a great taste for key lime pies. Guys, I've been on this keto diet, and on this keto diet, I can't even eat stuff like that, so I was like, why not just make a candle? So what you're gonna need today, let me give you a supply list. Now, I got these foil pie pans. I got these for 99 cents because I go to Hobby Lobby whenever they're having a sale. I got these for 99 cents from Hobby Lobby. They were $1.99 and it's a pack of 12. So that was pretty cool. For $1, you get 12. I mean, I can't complain. It was cheaper than Amazon. So you just pretty much just check out Hobby Lobby and see when they're having a sale in the baking section, and you can basically get these for 99 cents. Also, I'm using some Margarita lime fragrance oil, and I got this from Wholesale Supplies Plus. Now, I tell you guys that Wholesale Supplies Plus has a sale. It's maybe once or twice a year. I mean, I literally waited a whole year for them to have this sale, and when I tell you I loaded up, I loaded up. Wholesale Supplies Plus is better than, in my opinion, this is my opinion, they are better than Candle Science, but the Candle Science is way cheaper. So I would just probably rather go to Candle Science to get my fragrance oil than Wholesale Supply Plus. But when they have that sale, I am a #1 shopper. I will be having some lime fragrance on my website pretty soon. I'm going to put in an order this week so that, because this is something that I'm going to be making this summer. I will be doing a lot of pop-up shops, and in those pop-up shops, I'm going to have all of these pies. Like, I'm going to have a lot of key lime pies. I'm going to do strawberry shortcake. I'm going to do like banana pies. I'm going to do a whole lot of pies. And what I realized about these pies is, you know, packaging them in a box would just be so expensive. So this is what I found to package the pies in. And these also were 99 cents. You have to go on the day that they have the sale on the bakery items. This is treat bags. You can find treat bags in Dollar Tree as well. But I'm not sure how many come in a pack, but I do know that they do sell them. So you just take the treat bag, get yourself some like the string that you try, you know, the string that we tie the balloons together. Get some of that cute string and just tie the top of the treat bag, put the tag on it, and just do it that way. Guys, when we finish with this whole video, of course, I'll have a picture of everything so you can see how to package these. If you want to put a sticker on it, like a thank you sticker, that makes it stand out even more. So just, you know, you can print these stickers out at home. Try not to be on Amazon buying everything. On one of my videos, I taught you guys how to refill. Now, I'm looking to the side because my printer is over here. I have an inkjet printer and I have a laser printer. Now, my laser printer is expensive. My laser printer lasts, and I'm able to go and buy my ink off of Amazon, thank God. But the inkjet printer, I pretty much fill up my ink for just a few bucks, and that's how you make like certain stickers, warning labels, and things like that. So you got your fragrance oil. You're going to need some paraffin wax just for the crust. You can use soy wax or you can use Parasoy for the crust, but soy wax is too mushy, so it won't come out hard. So I don't recommend that. And also, if you want to use Parasoy, if you would like to use Parasoy, I'm getting it from behind my back and being sneaky. This is how the Parasoy would turn out, like that. I really don't like that look. I want it to really look like crumbs, and paraffin gives you that distinct crumb look that you are looking for. So I already got my paraffin over here chilling on the side. What I'm going to do is, and I'm going to do it right in front of y'all face, I'm going to go ahead and put my paraffin, like I'm gonna let it cool. I think it's cooling down right now. Let me see what the temperature is. Cooling it down. See, and I'm going to go ahead and add some fragrance to it. I'm just adding a little teeny tiny bit of fragrance to the crust, just to have, like, when your customer pick up the crust, I want my customer to pick up the pie and be like, but like, even if they smelling the crumbs, I want the crumbs to even have a smell. And the smell that I'm going to probably use for the crumbs is probably some vanilla, just to give it a key lime pie with a creamy little, you know, just throw it off. I don't want to use all limes. So basically what you're going to need is you're going to need a pouring pot, because, and also you're going to need a sheet pan. You can use anything. You can use like a one of those, you know, those Ziploc bowl plastic containers. You can use something like that. But what I'm going to use is I'm going to use my pouring pot. I'm going to go ahead and pour my paraffin in here. I'm pouring, and paraffin is what works best because paraffin is very crumbly. So I really recommend, if you want to try this at home, get you some paraffin. So, oh, it solidifies so quick. That's the only thing about paraffin. You got to move quick with this stuff. Like, it gets hard pretty fast. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pour me a little bit of fragrance oil inside of this little thing right here, this little communion cup. I'm going to use a little bit of vanilla and let's see, just a little bit. I have about 8 ounces of wax, paraffin wax. I'm going to use 0.8 of fragrance. Actually, I probably use like less than that, because 0.8 is a lot, and I don't want to use too much because it's only a little bit. So I just want to use just a little tap, like just give me a little. I don't need it to have too much, because you know, one thing about fragrance, you got to be careful, because fragrance will be something to make your candle flame a little bit higher. So I mean, I could throw all that fragrance in there, but I just feel like it's just not enough for me to do that. So I'm just going to mix it around a little bit. This is what I want you guys to do. You know, just mix it around a little bit in here, just, you know, or you could stir it. Honestly, I should have stirred it because it's just catching on the sides too much for me. Then I want you to take this, and I'm gonna show you what to do, guys. Don't sit here and be like, what is she up to? She is just doing so much already, Diamond. Come on. I want to take this and clean this up a little bit. Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty simple thing. I want you to go ahead and get you some Eco 2 wicks. That's another thing that you can use, some Eco 2 wicks. And they burn perfectly with this. Either Eco 2 wicks, or you can use, like, take the same dimension. Well, you know the measurements, like if it's like 1.5 inches, you can take that over to CD, just transfer it over to another wick. And you can use another wick. I prefer for paraffin wax, like if I was making paraffin wax, this would just be an all CD thing. But just because it's crumbs, I'm not going to use, I'm just using very little crumbs. Like, I mean, just a little bit. And it's hardening really, really quick. So you stir it up, and then what you do is you pour it on here. You just pour that paraffin wax onto this. You see that? You just pour it on here just like that. And it doesn't go off the sides or nothing. Like, it's just really, it solidifies very fast. That's why you can't use it for whip, because it solidifies pretty quick. But just get it on here. And paraffin would really be good for cookie dough. Like if you was making cookie dough or something like that, or pancakes, paraffin would be really good for like pancakes or cookie dough, because it pours like a pancake and it stays in place. So but I'm gonna do a pancake and bacon candle, and when I do that pancake and baking candle, I'm gonna have mold, like a silicone mold. But this is really a good idea, y'all. I mean, the way it's like laying out, it would really do good as like cookie crumbs. So I'm always coming up with some fantabulous ideas. So I'm just scraping this out and putting this onto the sheet. You want it to get hard, and you want it to get really hard, because once it get hard, it's going to be easier to work with. And I'm just kind of smoothing it out like a pancake right now. Move this out the way. I'm just kind of smoothing this out like a pancake. It's not really too much to see, but I am about to let you guys see what I'm doing so that you can know what to do. Okay, so yeah, it's drying up and getting hard pretty fast. So I'm just doing this, smoothing it out, because it has a lot of lumps in it. As you can see, it's a lot of lumps. But you just sit there and you let it get really hard and dry. And once it get hard and dry, you're gonna need a fork, because we're gonna have to get it in shape. So that's, once that gets solidified completely, then we're gonna go ahead and make crust out of that. But right now, what you need to do next is get your pans together and start getting your pans in position, because we're going to use about a good 3 ounces of wax in each container. We're going to use about two and a half whipped, and the rest of, I mean, not 2.5 whipped, 2.5 or 2.3 ounces of liquid, because that's how much it's going to take to fill to about right here. And then we're going to whip in here to make it really look like pie. So you're going to need that, and get your wicks together, because what we're about to do is we're about to put wicks on the inside of these. And you can use wax to kind of stabilize your wicks, or you can use heat glue. I mean, hot glue gun. You can use wax, or you can use a hot glue gun. All right. Okay, guys. So I pretty much got these wicked. The only thing I did on one is I just cut it, because this is the best way to do it, so you don't need to use like a wick stabilizer. So you just kind of cut it, and then you straighten it up when it's time. Like, just, you know, make sure they straight, and that way you don't need to use those things to stabilize the wick. All right, so here we are with our little paraffin cake. No, but this is our paraffin crust. I'm just kind of moving this stuff out of the way so you guys can see, you get a good look. What we're doing now is basically we're making crust, like, so we can use this on our pies. Because when you make the crust, because I'm gonna be making different pies, I'm not just gonna make the key lime. I'm gonna be making different ones. So you just pretty much, you just scratch it like a cat, like, and as you scratch it, it's turning into crumbs. And this is the best wax for this, because no other wax will crumble like this besides paraffin, because how hard paraffin is. So you just pretty much take it and let it, you see how it's just turning into just crumble? It's turning into crumbs. And just scratch at it like a little cat, you know. And when you finish, it's going to look magnificent, like, for real. Just keep scratching at it, and this will be your crumble for your cakes. Now, I did use a little bit, like I said, the vanilla fragrance, just to give it a little smell, because I'm going to be using this, because this should be enough, not just for your pies that you're doing right now, but this should be enough for more pies. Like, when you decide to do more, by the time you finish using all this, you should have enough. So I'm going to keep crumbling this for about as much as I need. And I'm going to start melting down my wax so that I can pour it into the pies, and we can start decorating. Now, I will be using 464 for my whip, because I like that better. It's more fluffy. But I also will be using 6006 for the pie itself, because it gives me a better hot throw. A lot of people like soy. I'm a parasoy girl, because it's something about that hot throw that you can never be like, you know, like when I make my stuff, I'm like, oh my God, it just smells so good and it's so strong and it lights up the house. And I haven't gotten that same hot throw like as much, you know, as everybody else say they get with just plain old soy. I like Parasoy. So my crumbs is pretty much almost done and ready. As you can see, I'm just dumping them off. I don't know how much you got done if you sit here working with me. You just pretty much just dump your crumbs off of it and just keep scratching at it and you'll have, you know, enough. It looked like peanut brittle. This is a good way to make like a pancake or something. I really like the way paraffin looks, but it's a little bit tougher to burn. So I don't really like to use straight paraffin. So guys, go ahead and keep making your crumble. And we're gonna go ahead and heat up the 6006 wax and turn it lime green. And we're gonna get these pies done, okay? All right. Okay, family, so I done went ahead and I done poured. I'm just too fast, honey. I done poured my little pies. This is the color that they came out. I wanted them to be a little bit lighter, but I kind of used a little bit too much of the color. So next time I'll make them lighter. This is just what I'm going to use for my pop-up shops, but I want to show you guys exactly how I did it. I basically just took it and I poured some of the wax in there, and then I cut down the wicks, and like right now, like you see, I'm filling it up. I cut down the wicks first, and I just filled it up. I didn't do like a second pour. I just basically just cut the wick down and filled it all the way up. So it can be straight. Like as you can see, like the wicks are short and they sitting straight up. The shorter the better. So that's what I did. And I got all of them done. So now what I'm doing is I'm heating up. Well, I'm not heating up. I already heat up my 464. I'm getting ready to put that in a piping bag. And as this lighten up, because it is kind of lightening up a little bit. It looked really dark at first, but as it solidifies, it's getting lighter. So it's looking a little better. I mean, I felt like at first I was like, oh, it's ugly green. But now I'm looking at it, it's starting to get better. The only thing I don't like is like you have to pull the wicks into the middle because they are a little bit off-centered. And it would really take like a lot of wick stabilizing things just to get it. And that would take a long time. So you just got to pull them over and put them in position. You could take it and hit it with a heat gun, or you could just kind of pipe around it or whatever you choose to do. What I'm going to do is I'm probably just going to hit mine with a heat gun just to even it out. Everything smells good. It smells like key lime fragrance. I got me some cool embeds for it, and they like little limes. So what I may do is I may use them as a whole, or I may just cut them in half. I got my pie crust right here to kind of sprinkle around. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and get my piping bag ready, and that way we can pipe all of these out. We can add our little crust and our little features all around it, and we're just pretty much ready for takeoff. They are coming out so much lighter as they dry. Like, oh my God, thank you Jesus, because it was looking so ugly. And another thing is you just go around and touch up some of these pies that you didn't fill up all the way. Like that's what I'm doing, just going around and just kind of touching it up, just so I can have them. I want them to be filled up to the point where I still have enough to pipe around it. Like you want to have enough space to pipe. You don't want to fill it all the way up to the top, because then you don't have enough space to pipe. And then the ones that you see that you kind of messed up or whatever, you just go ahead and put another little layer of wax on it. I did end up having to use a little bit more. I did. When I say a little bit more, I had to add more. I had to add like 5 more pie pans because I had way too much wax left over. So I did say that I was using 2 ounces. Guys, you may use less than 2 ounces in these. And I was like surprised. I thought I was like, oh my God, I was not going to need to use more containers, but I actually did. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the wax out the refrigerator, and we're gonna whip it, and we're gonna put it inside the piping bag, and we're gonna go ahead and get that started so we can finish up here. Okay, so here's the fun part. We are whipping our wax. The wax is at a good consistency right now, but it's not as creamy as it should be. Like right now, it's kind of like mashed potatoes, but we want it to be like really light, like batter. So what you kind of do is you just keep whipping it. You let it sit for a little bit just to kind of get a little bit harder, but overall you just really whip it because you want to get as many lumps out as possible. And I'm looking for my spatula. My spatula kind of got away from me. I hate when things just try to walk out of my life. Come on back. So I'm just pretty much just going around, just getting all the lumps out of it. This is just the fun part, guys. This is really fun. I know y'all probably like, no it ain't. I hate doing this part. So I'm moving all these lovely pies out of the way because they're really starting to crowd up my little space that I do have. So clean up the walls of the bowl. And when you finish cleaning up the walls of the bowl, those are going to be considered lumps. You want to go ahead and smash those out. And no matter how many videos I make, I'm still teaching people how to whip some wax. I feel like this is something that I'm never going to stop doing. Like I'm never going to stop teaching people how to whip wax because it's like newbies watch me all the time. And I'm like, go back and watch the old videos and you'll see. As you can see, it's thickening up. And it looks good like this. This looked like this would be a good time to start getting it prepared to put in the piping bag, but it's actually not. You want it to be a little bit more thick because if you add it in this runny, then it's going to create a bigger problem. And you're just going to have some runny wax. And you don't want runny wax because it's not going to look good when it's piped. I noticed that like newbies would just pour it out and just start putting it in there and they like, how do my candle look? And I'm like, oh Lord, it looked like it needs some prayer. That's what it looked like. I'm the one that's just like, Lord, I don't know about this one. All right, they send me pictures of it. I'm like, you just practice and make perfect, girl. Practice and make perfect. That's all I can say because I don't like lying. I don't like telling people, you know, that something looks good and it don't. So here's what it looked like right now. Like I tell you guys all the time, you shouldn't be able to move it. Like it should not run out the bowl if you tip in the bowl. So if it's running out, then that means it needs to sit for a little bit longer. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sit it in my refrigerator for like 1 more minute, and once it's finished in the refrigerator, we can go ahead and just start piping it and get this whole little pie thing together, y'all. Okay guys, we done whipped the wax and everything, and now what I'm doing is I'm adding my detailed features to the top. I'm doing the star and I'm adding some crumbs to it. Just make it really look like a key lime pie, just some star and some crumbs. So I'm going around, I'm just showing you guys what I'm doing. I'm adding some stars. And we're going around like that. We're just pretty much just dropping it on there like that. And covering up the foil part because remember, key lime pies have crust, but us making the crust would take extra long, and stuff like this you really don't want to just be doing all day long. So you want to just be as simple as possible, and this is how you want it to look when you finish. Okay guys, so what I did was I went ahead, I piped the rest of them, and I added crust to it. So I just kind of like the way it looked without, like, no extra detail to it. Now I did add a lime to the top of these ones, and it does look like it's okay, but it kind of like a little shark head to me, so I don't really like it, but I'm gonna leave it here. But the rest of them is just piped, like whipped, piped, or whatever. These are the limes. You can just kind of put it in there, like put it straight across if you want to, but I just think that for me, I'm gonna leave mine like this.